Hey, what's up? My name is JM Chaley and welcome to my channel. This week I want to talk about writing from outlines. Now, you may be a pantser and maybe you don't use outlines, or maybe you already have outlines, you work from notes and you're a planner and you're thinking, yeah, I already do it, it works for me, I'm good. What I wanted to do with this video is share kind of what I do that has improved my outlining and planning, plotting, whatever game. With that in mind, I have a couple of tips, not many, but I have a few tips that might help you improve your outlining game if you're a plotter, planner, whatever you're calling yourself, and also to reinforce the idea that, everyone is a blend of something in some way. I mean, I guess there are pantsers that don't write anything down. I guess those people exist. So first of all, I do outlines on a very high level. I use Roman numerals and the indent in and do the capital letters and all that stuff. That's about as deep as I go. Typically speaking, a Roman numeral represents an episode in Kindle Vella, a chapter in a story, whatever. And then the capital letters underneath that Roman numeral are the different scenes, the different plot points and whatnot. That's about as deep as I go. Sometimes if I really want to get into the nitty-gritty before I forget something, I indent one more time, do the lowercase Roman numerals, and add a little bit more detail. That's the exception, not the rule. But if you're a plotter, there is no wrong way to do it. If you have a way to put notes, your thoughts on paper, whatever's working for you, that's great. Some people do very, very high level, something like this, where they just copy the high-level plot points. Now, you may not even put anything down formally in something like Word. I have notebooks where I just jot stuff down. Sometimes I put stuff in Milanote. I have stuff like all over the place. It's a little haphazard. I probably have to do a better job of collating all this stuff together into one place. And I try to, and eventually all those notes and different entities wind up in a Word document that is the outline for my entire body of work, be it season 1 of my Kindle Vella series or a manuscript that I'm working on. I like to have the entire outline in one home base. With that said, my outlines look a little bit like this. Again, very high level with a little bit of detail. Now, some people like to get super detailed. I've talked to people where they actually put in dialogue, they put in prose, they put in descriptions, they go all out, they put in a lot of content. I'm talking about something that maybe looks like this, for example, and hey, if it works for you, I'm not going to knock it. Your mileage may vary, all this kind of stuff, you do you and all that stuff. I will say, if you're going to put in that much effort into writing in your outline, then why not just build it in your draft? You're probably going to copy and paste it over there anyway. Why not just build it there? I've never really understood the transition, but hey, if it works for you, it works for you. So really, there's two things that I do that have improved my planning game. And the first thing is I take the snippet from my outline that is germane to the chapter or episode, Kindle Vella episode that I'm writing, and I paste it into the draft where I'm actually writing. So it sits there kind of at the bottom. And I start typing and writing, and I get through my writing session, however many words or whatever I do for that day. And then I go back to that outline, and it's almost like a checklist of the things that I planned to do. Did I write this scene? Yes. I delete it. I remove it from that little snippet. Gone. I did that already. Did I do this part yet? No, I leave it. But sometimes I get to a place where I've been writing and pantsing a little bit because I don't, again, my stuff's very high level, so I'm going to wind up pantsing something. And I realize, oh, I planned to do this, but I ended up writing this other thing. Now I need to make a decision. Do I revise that to what I initially planned? Or do I keep what I changed it to? And that really amounts to whether or not the thing that I did is better than what I planned or not. So I make that decision and I update that little snippet in the outline, And sometimes I might finish a chapter or an episode, and I go back and look at my outline snippet, and I'm like, oh, this thing I planned to do, I forgot about it, and I didn't put it in. So then I have to make a decision. Do I still need it? Is it something that is going to cascade down further, where if I forget about it, it's going to change the events in the other chapters or episodes? Can I push this event to another chapter or episode if I forgot to do it here? These kind of decisions I have to make as well. So this is kind of my first tip, is adding that little blurb, that little snippet of outline at the bottom of your chapter or episode or whatever you're working on, scene, however you want to do it, and then truing it up afterwards, seeing if what you planned actually made it onto the page. And if not, does it matter? The second thing I do is treat my outline like a living document. So once I've written the chapter, the episode, whatever, I go back to my outline and I update it. Is it still what I planned to do? Or did I change it? I make my changes. Now, the reason it's important to keep your outline up to date is because if you change something while you're pantsing, or you've thought of a better way to do something and you don't update your outline, there may be cascading effects in the plot or story that are affected by that. So if you go back and you read the entire outline document as a whole body of work, you need to remind yourself, oh wait, I changed this in chapter 2. So in chapter 7, that makes a difference. And I need to figure out what that means or how that affects the story. So that's kind of about it. Not a lot of tips, but those 2 tips have helped me out tremendously. Tethering that snippet, those plans, to the body of work I'm currently working on, and updating my outline as I go. Very simple stuff, but I didn't do these things from the beginning when I started outlining, when I started disciplining myself to write stuff down. And now that I started doing those 2 things, everything's cleaner. The editing process is easier because now I don't have to go back and go, oh, I forgot to do this. Oh, no. You know, all this stuff has become so much easier. So if these two tips can help you, great. Figured I'd pass them on. All right, so that about wraps it up. A couple of tips on outlining. I hope the tips helped you out. And, you know, if you're a pantser, try writing stuff down every now and then. If you're a plotter, don't be afraid to pants. I mean, we can't write everything down in an outline, right? There doesn't need to be this big delineation. There's going to be some, you know, cross-pollination of methods, and that's all good. Whatever works with you, whatever helps you in your creative process. All right, so if you like this video, please give it a like. Smush that like button. And as always, please subscribe. I post most Thursdays. And you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And be sure to check out The Unlife of Lisa Cooper, my ongoing Kindle Vella series. All you have to do is go to Amazon and type in The Unlife of Lisa Cooper, or you can type in J.M. Chaley. You'll find me. Check it out. It's a good read. And be sure to check out jmchaley.com to sign up for my newsletter. I'm trying to get better about sending out newsletters on a regular basis. And you can check out some art, some blurbs about stuff that I'm working on. I'm trying to keep that site updated with new content, you know, every now and then. So definitely give that a look. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.